Hello and welcome to Bailey's Baits. Today we are going to cover taking a photo. It's a very simple thing to do as long as you get some bits and pieces correct. We'll cover the main aspects of how to hold the fish, how to take the photo, what backdrops to cover, or what backdrops to choose, sorry. I would always recommend a green or leafy green backdrop. It's the easiest backdrop to use, it's the easiest backdrop for self-takes. You haven't got to play with lighting to get the lighting correct. What we shall do is we will do it on a mobile phone instead of the camera equipment, as 90% of us use mobile phones, including myself. Sometimes the camera's not available, sometimes it's the other side of the lake being used by the photographer, especially when we're on socials. If I catch something, I want to get that photo done and get them back and safely released. So nevertheless, we shall get set up and we shall get the video going. Right, so as you can see here, I've framed up my photo. You can't see nothing around the cradle itself, so there's no rubbish, landing nets, bivvies, rods, stuff like that within your photo. You want to keep it focused on the fish and not on any other stuff you got laying around in your swim. We've picked a greeny backdrop. It's the simplest backdrop to take photos against, as long as you ain't got a tree growing out your head. If that is the case, just slightly offset, retake your photos. So the easiest and simplest backdrop to use is just a green backdrop. That way you're not having to play with lighting. When you take it over the water with a water backdrop, there's a lot of lighting to play with to get the focus on the fish, because of the reflection of the water will always be brighter than your actual target fish photo. So pick a green backdrop, nothing else in, cradle or mat just showing at the bottom of your photo, and you want this triangle. So if I'm holding the fish here, you can see within the screen now, fish's head, my head, fish's tail, or other way round, whatever way you want to hold it, or if you're going to do both sides, it's the same process. As I'm standing, so feet slightly apart, bend your knees, both knees, elbows not on knees, you don't want to hold it in another postcode, so you want to go mid-fire with your elbows, hold the fish, look at either the fish's head or the fish's tail. What we'll do now is we've got a fish in the retainer, so we shall get the fish out and we'll go over the actual photos of the fish. I will have Alan take the photos for me while I'm holding the fish. Then what we'll do is we'll spin the camera around so the camera is looking from this view backwards, and talk over how we hold the camera and how we focus the camera and so on and so forth. But as I say, that will be a mobile phone. Right, so here we go. We've got the fish in the cradle. Upper double, nothing major. He is quite angry, so I might get quite wet here. So just off to the right of me here, I've got my water bucket out of sight, so it's not in the photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the water bucket, wet the fish down, lift the fish for the photos. Obviously after we use the bucket, we're going to put that back out the way of the photo. Wet your fish down, water bucket back out the way. This vlog is designed for people who's fishing on their own. If you've got someone with you, they can always wet the fish. They're never good when it's on camera. So we're going to get that fish up, get him balanced, hands on knees as we said. Now, so you're going to get the front pectoral fin in between them two fingers and move your hand back as far as possible. Same on the rear fin, in between them two fingers, move your fingers back as far as possible. You want as much fish and less fingers. Now you're going to bring it up, so it's just underneath your chin. With the photos, give you a little grin, but look at either the fish's head or the fish's tail. You want the fish to be the focus and not your face. So we'll look at his head, 2 or 3 photos, just move him around a little bit, make sure he's level. If you take multiple photos and you're constantly moving, there will always be one good photo where you say, yep, that's the one. So you're constantly moving the fish, constantly moving your head, pausing in between your movements, just constantly capturing photos. If you're on your own and you're using a phone, the good way to do this is use it in video mode. And then that way the whole thing is being videoed. You can scroll through your video and take photos out of your video. So that is how we do a single take or a on your own take photo. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the camera around and show you what we do on the other end to make this work. Right, so excuse the mess behind. This is the side of the photos that don't get seen and shouldn't get seen. We've covered how to hold the fish, elbows on knees. Now the cradle's not in the way, you'll see it a little bit better. Not right out here, don't want it to be in a different postcode. Elbow centre of thighs, crouch like this. It's more stable like this to hold the fish. And again, photos either side. So we've covered how to take the photo, we've covered how to hold the fish, we've covered the backdrops you're looking for. Now we're going to cover how to actually take the photo on your phone with either someone or on your own. What I'll do is we just took some photos of that fish while we was doing the video on the phone, so I will insert them in here just so you can see that obviously if you're using a phone you still can get brilliant quality photos. So first things first, and this is one of my biggest annoyances, is all it takes is one fingerprint on one of these lenses, whole photo ruined. First things first, just get your t-shirt, make sure your lenses are really clean. It's a simple step and it'll make your pictures 100 times better instantly. So now, taking the photo itself, we just open the camera. Typical, we've got a train going past. Right, so in this current photo, which I'll take now, and I'll insert that, you can see that we've got the backdrop, we've got the camera, you's looking at me, looking at you, but you can also see all the other stuff around it. So all we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in so all the stuff around it's gone. Now you want to hold the phone at the same height as the cradle and you holding the fish. You just want that cradle like that. I'm going to take another photo and insert it at the bottom, in the bottom 3/4 of your photo, and then you can have your triangle. So so the centre of your fish, which would be you guys now in the camera, is in the centre of the photo frame. And then that is the way to have someone else take the photo for you. You can crop it or edit afterwards. As you can see, it makes a big difference. Just that little bit of zoom, it takes all the junk away from the photo. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cover doing a self-take. So, I personally use one of these little tripod selfie sticks. So, in the selfie stick it goes. They extend. This one not very far, which is not a bad thing because of the higher they are, the more unstable they are. They're only a little tripod. So, again, there you go. This is what I mean, they're very unstable. So you've got your height, again, zoom in, frame it up, and then what you would do now, if you're on your own, is you put it on video. So you're going to frame it up in the video, exactly the same as we just framed it up for the photo, so it takes all the mess from around the swim out of the photo. You've got your cradle in the bottom third, and you're going to hit record. I'll hit record now so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. I'll insert that into the video. and then that will, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go back through, re-watch your video and take the photos out of the video. And also you've got a nice video of your capture. That way you don't need no special buttons, keeping it cheap, keeping it simple. Pretty much everyone's got a phone in their pocket with a decent camera on it nowadays, so as long as your camera's clean, it will give you a great photo. And I think that pretty much covers it. As I say, if there's anything else that you'd like to cover, let us know, we'll cover it for you. If you'd like to like and subscribe, and we shall see you on the next one.